Yo guys, today we are gonna watch some AniNews content about Lord of the Mysteries. Like the one of the Isekai you didn't know what's coming out this month. Like I know I'm late, but I'm like I have exams last week and also I've been kinda obsessed playing Elden Ring. So I've been kinda slacking off doing the Lord of the Mysteries content. So I will do it everything today. I will post it everything today actually. So yeah, let's start and see what is going to say about it.
What if I told you there was an isekai coming out that wasn't taking place in a medieval fantasy setting?
Yep, the
Interested?
most
No?
really
Not
unique.
yet? What if I told you it wasn't a half-baked power fantasy where the protagonist steamrolls everyone? Maybe now we're getting somewhere. Would you be interested if it was a gothic steampunk fantasy? How about a dark Victorian era
It's
setting
very
where
unique. It's one of
Victorianism
the
isn't
unique
just used
isekai
as a backdrop?
I have
Perhaps
seen.
some
I
Lovecraftian
didn't know
horror
it was
might
an
be more your
isekai at first.
style. Or maybe you're more into the occult and mythology. Well, there's an isekai coming out that incorporates all of this, and surprisingly enough, you'll be able to watch it sooner than you think. So, in a world where isekai come and go without much of an impact, Lord of the Mysteries might just be the next big hitter to join the ranks of ReZero, Mushoku Tensei, and Overlord.
Overlord. Is Overlord that good? I don't know. But it's kind of insane that Isekai has one of the most. Isekai has one a lot of. There's a lot of flops in Isekai, but somehow in the Isekai genre, there's masterpiece. Like, not masterpiece, but it's such a quality anime like Mushoku Tensei, ReZero, and now Lord of the Mysteries. Like, Isekai is a hit or miss type of a genre, to be honest.
It's got seemingly everything to make it such. The only thing, it's not really an anime in the traditional sense.
True.
It's a donghua.
Well,
Before we get more into that,
we do have Tobiro X, and that is a good anime.
though, as an
Donghua.
isekai enthusiast and avid player of mobile games, I'm excited to share today's sponsor,
I didn't expect the sponsor.
But now, let's get back to the video. I know the beginning might have overwhelmed you with so many themes at once, but I promise
Yeah, that's a lot, to be honest. Like this is like even this like that's a lot. Like this this whole genre is so rare to put together, to be honest. Usually it's not like this, but usually it's just one of the two or three or something, but then they just go in. Like usually when you have so much genre, it's kind of hard to kind of balance it out, the aspect of it.
an amalgamation of them isn't as messy
It's
as
like
you
done
might
done
think.
done.
In fact, in a market where 10 plus cookie cutter isekai are given to us a season, it's actually quite refreshing to see something so entirely different.
Yep.
Even if it was just an errant attempt at trying something different, that something different is what I've been looking for in the genre for quite some time now.
True.
Luckily for us, Lord of the Mysteries is far more than just an errant attempt at something new. It's a masterful blend of mystery, horror, and fantasy into one of the most intelligent and immersive stories currently out there. Now, it is quite rare for a Chinese web novel to have such a strong global following, so the fact it does is testament to how good it is. I mean,
yes.
it's got tens of millions of readers across all the platforms it's on, achieved numerous top rankings within them, and was even ranked #1 consistently on the Chinese publishing site Shidian. There's a myriad of reasons for why that could be the case, but the general consensus is that everything it does exceptionally. Despite its amalgamation of so many different genres and themes, each is interwoven into the story in a way that not just
Yeah.
fits, they complement each other to create a world unlike any
I
other.
think that he
The
has
author
read it.
Cuttlefish has blended them like
Cuttlefish
some
that
sort of
left
master
diving.
alchemist. So, with all that said, what is it then that Lord of the Mysteries is about? Well, that, my friends, is a very open-ended question.
Open-ended.
I'll do my best to give a brief summary right now, but I think I'll make something a bit more in-depth right before it comes out.
Okay.
For now, all you need to know is that this right
It
here is
It
Klein.
comes out already.
Klein's the
just
person our
reacted to this
protagonist
first.
reincarnates into, except the real Klein had just mysteriously killed himself.
What?
So, our protagonist who just
I wonder-
awoke to find himself
I
in
wonder
the body
why
of
the
Klein
original Klein killed
also
himself.
awakens to some serious head pain, a revolver right next to him, and blood everywhere. This already creates for quite the unique mystery, since what other isekai protagonist wakes up to find the person they've reincarnated into just shot themselves in the face? It's a cold open that brings forth so many other questions. New Klein is just as confused as the rest of us, since in addition to the peculiar situation he's awoken into, he's also in an unfamiliar environment one could easily mistake as Victoria-era England. Fortunately, he does have access to the memories of the Klein before him,
Oh,
but
that's
their
good.
spotty nature makes understanding them a lot more difficult. It is, however, enough to realize this new world is nothing like his old one. It doesn't take long for the supernatural to
That's good
establish
that
itself
he
as
has all the memories. Like, imagine you don't have any memories of it. Like, how do you want to adapt to the situation? Like, it will take amazing skill and incredible practical intelligence to quickly adapt and survive in this type of world.
commonplace after, since almost immediately Klein is pulled into a conspiracy involving cults, secret rituals, and all sorts of gods. It's from here he becomes a seer path beyonder, begins his descent down the sequence ladder,
So
then
I was right. Seer pathway is a path like in what you call in Honkai Star Rail, but it gives power, and people who has that has power from the past are called Beyonder. Okay.
adopts a role he must act wholeheartedly or face severe consequences. I know a lot of these words don't mean anything to you right now, but what they represent is a system that's both mechanical and mythic. What I mean is that while its foundations are rooted in something extremely supernatural and spiritual, the way it's navigated is highly strategic. It's a system of magic
It's a
that
system.
deals with more than just the power that comes from magic.
You know, the power is abstract and very supernatural. It still has a system. It's still systematic in a sense.
Each path of magic has its own belief system, way of
Oh.
life, and cost of entry, so
Way of life, belief system. That is like cost of entry. Oh, there's a lot of things. Damn. Oh man, kind of excited now hearing the power system. To be honest, like whenever I watch anime, my favorite anime is that anime that has one of the not one of the interesting power system and powers, and it seems that a lot of mysteries is going to have that type of thing.
in order to continue pursuing that path and become stronger with it, one must
Potion,
first
right?
transform themselves spiritually, psychologically, and philosophically.
Mm.
This isn't a world where one possesses mana, learns a spell, then casts it. It's a world where magic and power stem from metaphysical transformation, a type that's dependent on the user's soul, identity, and connection to reality. This is
Oh.
about as basic of an explanation as I can give, and still it just barely scratches the surface of what's really inside Lord of the Mysteries. In any case, it's Klein's goal to try and figure out how to get back home, leading him through a series of events that have him dealing with conflict both internally and externally. The supernatural becomes more and more prevalent, and the more Klein learns about it, the more experienced he gets with navigating it. At its core, it's a fantastic progression fantasy that's incredibly rewarding. Klein's journey is carefully intertwined with this power system, and
I'm glad that AniNews is covering it because that is what I call light novel historian, but he has a lot of spoilers, to be honest. Like I'm very scared to watch his video now. Like I used to watch it because thinking I didn't think that it would get an anime, but then it got an anime. And yeah, I'm glad that AniNews really cover. I hope it covers every episode, to be honest, like cut content or something. Like I really hope AniNews do it. Like oh my.
the way he becomes more powerful involves more than just your typical training arc.
Because
It's a
I don't
bit
trust like novel historian to make cut content. To be honest. Like he's just going to spoil things that people don't know and people don't want to know yet.
tough to get deeper into without touching on the more complex bits of lore, but for now this should paint a picture of what to expect from the main story. The world building is a whole separate beast on its own, since aside from the alternate history London shrouded in darkness, there's the cult-like magic system built upon a combination of Cthulhu mythos and tarot imagery, numerous secret organizations operating in the shadows, churches with real gods possessing godlike power, then a constant sense of mystery surrounding all of it. The one thing that does remain known for everyone, though, are that the rules which govern this world are not to be broken. One
Oh.
misstep and madness can consume you or your humanity be taken away.
Oh.
Once again, there's so much more that I can delve into, but the abundance of lore is a topic for another video. I think by now you've gotten the point that the story Lord of Mysteries portrays is very rich in everything.
Yeah.
Now, that's all great from a literature standpoint, but at the end of the day, we're all here to watch an anime. And
Yeah.
when it comes to bringing a lore-intensive novel such as this to life, we know that's not always the easiest thing to do.
Yep. Yep.
The first episode has been premiered over.
What from what I seen from Mushoku Tensei and ReZero, yeah, it's kind of like if they want to like it's kind of hard because you need to put a lot of dialogue. From what I seen, mangas does that, and damn, there's a lot of speech bubbles in it, and it kind of ruins the not ruins because it makes you able to absorb information fast with how the manga planners do work, but for anime, you need to either either voice it or through dialogue about the world building or show it animationally visually. If not, it's
In
kind of
China,
hard.
but aside from a few claims from people who supposedly saw it, there's nothing particularly concrete to go off of. So, before I share any of the speculation regarding that, the first thing I want to take note of is the studio. This is a production by
Oh,
BC May Pictures, a studio you may recognize as being responsible for King's Avatar.
I don't know that.
This was actually the first donghua I ever watched, and
Oh,
as a show
really? What?
that was already visually stunning back in 2017, it makes sense
Ooh.
that almost a decade later their animation would have improved to this. Now,
Mm,
I know consistent quality like this might be hard to believe, but with
true.
donghua progressively emerging as this competitor to anime,
Oh, this I know.
there's good
Oh,
reason for everyone involved to provide a quality experience all the way through.
a lot of them is very popular in China, so I would not. I would expect they put all their efforts into adapting this.
There's even some personal passion going on in the background since the head of BC May Pictures has said in a statement Lord of the Mysteries is his way of fighting to keep 2D animation alive. You see, with 3D
They will say 3D animation has taken over while 2D animation is gradually declining. The era when shows like The King's Avatar and one of them could get thousands of comments on a single Weibo post is good. Now with all of promotion capable of the studio is fighting on left there for the sake of 2D. Oh.
becoming the leading style in China, this man hopes to use Lord of the Mysteries as a means to keep 2D animation relevant. Combine this with one of the most prominent
Tencent?
multimedia corporations in China backing its production, and you can pretty much assume higher budgets, top tier staff, and widespread marketing like how we're seeing already. To keep the focus specifically on the studio, though, BC May seems like the perfect fit to handle a series that's focused on atmosphere, suspense, and tension. Action isn't the end all be all here, since the mystery behind everything is arguably more important. That being the case, if the anime is to capture a lot of the essence that makes Lord of the Mysteries so good, then
3D. I don't really mind actually. Like because Chinese anime, they I from what I heard, there a lot of the animation in China specialized in 3D, not 2D animation, and it seems that it has been declining a lot. So they're just trying to make 2D animation relevant again in China, while and of course in Japanese anime, of course 2D anime is the most prominent animation style they have. Like literally they create a lot of styles like the Utopian Cube, the you Canada style and everything. I kind of wish some of the Japanese animators came in to help too. Like because as much I want to say it's good, can animation what you call Japanese animation, they have a lot of style making it like the Utah Cubes and the Canada style, like I said, they have like only the the high production one. They have some sort of style that makes it unique in the 2D animation industry or yeah. So I hope either Chinese either a lot of them get some help from the Japanese animators, or they just able to do copy it. But I hope there's no copyright. Like Japanese love their copyright, right? Like we did the Nintendo and shit, try to copyright the catching mechanism of Palworld, like. So
It needs to focus on the tone and setting too. As high quality as the animation may be, a lot of other things need to come together if the story is going to be portrayed properly. That's not to say I expect every little detail to be included, but with the author Cuttlefish reportedly being part of the production supervision team,
yeah.
he of all people will know what's most important to include in the anime. So, whether it be an anime-only edition or the exclusion of information for time, if it went through the author himself, it's probably for the best.
Yeah. Not like
This brings me to my main concern regarding Donghua in general, since regardless of what show it is, I always find the pacing to be somewhat fast,
Oh
even with
yeah.
the phenomenal 2
Yeah, I kind of noticed that too. Like, I think in 2-bit Hero X, the most well paced is probably the. No. I feel like everything is very fast paced. I feel like only the second episode of the Lucky Sian art that it feels slow, and I feel like the pacing is good in the episode. But and same with nice episode with what you call the third episode of Nice Arc is also very well paced too. I don't know about the maybe the second arc of Yang Chen's the second episode of Yang Chen's is well paced, or no. I think Yang Chen's arc is very well paced, to be honest.
2B Hero X from this season, something about pacing in the Donghua I watch just seems off. It's almost like they're speeding from point to point without any development in between. This is of course my own personal opinion from my experiences watching the Donghua that I have, but with Lord of the Mysteries being the slow burn that it is, I'm hoping that won't be the case here. In fact, I'm expecting the pacing to be the key determining factor on whether or not it ends up doing well. With everything else seemingly going above and beyond, the only thing left to see is whether the actual mystery of everything can be captured well. Will it flesh out the parts worth spending time on, or will it speed through them in order to reach the parts of the story it wants to get
I'm
to?
kind of scared too.
That's just one of the many tasks I'm sure this veteran
Like,
director has been handling, so
as
if
much as people trusting Cuttlefish that is good, there's a chance that he thinks it's good because he sees he doesn't really think the pacing is bad because of the Donghua he watch, because like I feel that's the only thing. Like people trusting Cuttlefish, but we should know that he lives in China, that and Donghua is from China, so there's a chance that he's going to base the story also based on the pacing of Donghua too, because for him there's a chance that the Donghua pacing is normal for him, but for other it's not. So we cannot really trust this that just because the authors involved, the pacing is gonna be good. So we just need to hope that Cuttlefish has the vision to see it.
if done right, I think we might be in for a mix of Monogatari and Bloodborne.
Holy shit, what the fuck? I've damn I love Bloodborne. I only play a bit. I haven't even defeat the first boss in my Bloodborne gameplay. And I never watched Monogatari, but what an insane mix. Like this what a two
Monogatari for its complex dialogue layered with symbolic wordplay, and Bloodborne for its cryptic lore entrenched within a gothic nightmare. I'm sure there's better comparisons to be made, but those are just a couple that came to mind when thinking about what Lord of the Mysteries could be like. Now, to get to the claims reportedly being made about the Donghua, supposedly the series has been confirmed for at least 5 seasons. Each season is said to have 12 episodes. Each episode is at least 30 minutes long, and within each minute of that episode, there's approximately 1,000 drawings. On average, that would mean 16 different frames per second, so if true, expect a level of fluidity that we rarely get to see in 2D animation. Not any of the static pans we've unfortunately been exposed to lately. Even if we were to compare this to Solo Leveling, the climax of episode 12 only had around 850 frames per minute, 15% less frames than what Lord of the Mysteries allegedly has.
How?
So, when you take into account that the first bit of the story is actually quite slow, it makes you wonder
it's not like as much as I love fight scenes in Solo Leveling, it's not like it's not like the animation is very detailed compared to other animes. I don't know. I don't know. I cannot compare to any other anime.
Where all the animation is going to be. I can only imagine we're going to get some pretty intense dialogue scenes. In any case, all this stems from a premiere that happened quite some time ago. I can't
Mm.
verify any of their claims myself, but with the first episode releasing in less than a couple weeks, we'll finally get to see for ourselves whether
Oh,
or not all
it's already
this is true.
released
I
in
do
my
think we are
timeline.
in for a treat with this one though, so
Damn,
if you're
already looks so beautiful. Like what the hell?
looking for an isekai that's finally something different, I can't recommend enough checking this one out when it finally airs. I have no
Yeah, I'll,
idea where we'll actually be able to watch it, but keep your eyes peeled on June
or I
26th.
guess they don't know about Crunchyroll and everything, right? Right. Yeah, I think this come out way long before that reveal. Yeah, 13 days. 13 days. It's not that long. Like 2 weeks ago. Um. Yeah. I think any news kind of summarize it very proper. Very good. I kind of understand it more, but I want. There's another video of him, but I'm going to make a separate video too. But yeah, um he he really summarized properly, and I feel more excited to see. And yeah, that's all from me. Thank you for watching. If you guys enjoy, please leave a like, subscribe, and please see other play to see more content, and make sure to check up any news, because any news make good content of. And I hope he does make good content, because I don't like I like the way he speaks. That's all. So yeah, that's all from me. Peace out.